morning and welcome to Decomposing Complex Figures video number 3. For this video, you'll need a copy of this sheet to follow along, and throughout the video, I'm going to ask you to pause so you can work on it on your own. There are 2 additional questions on the back for you to solve on your own, and then you can bring them up to me and I will check them for you. All right, let's get started on the front. So taking a look at this figure, we notice that it is a complex figure, but we can break it down into regular figures. So for example, looking at this shape, I see that I actually can make it into 2 rectangles here. In this case, these rectangles happen to also be squares because I'm noticing it is a 6 by 6 and a 7 by 7. In this case, there are no missing sides that we need to solve for, so we can go ahead and just use our formula, length times width equals area. Up here, I will have a 6 by 6, which will give me 36 square centimeters, and here I have a 7 by 7, which would give me 49 square centimeters. My last step, now that I know the area of both figures, I need to find my total area, so I can add 49 plus 36. 15, carry my 1, 7, 8. So I have a total of 85 square centimeters. Remember, area is always labeled as square units because we're literally finding how many square units would fit inside of that figure. All right, let's take a look at the second one. All right, this one's a little bit more complex. So before I get started, I kind of want to look around the shape and see how I can break it up. And there's different ways that you can do it, and as long as you multiply correctly, you will get the same answer. Quickly looking at the shape, I see I can make a rectangle down here, a rectangle over here, and one over here. I also can break it up this way and have 2 rectangles here, one really long skinny one here, and then one over here. Again, we have different options, and then it just depends on what you want to do. So I think I'm going to break it up this way, and this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles. And now they're regular shapes, so I can just do length times width. In this case, I may have some missing side lengths that I'm going to have to solve for, but that's no big deal. Looking at this shape, I'm going to go with this one first because I see I've got everything I need. I've got my length of 10 and my width of 6. So I can do 10 times 6 to give me 60 square inches. All right, when I look down here, I notice that I have 16 across this entire side length and 6 down this side. This 6 is fine here, but I'm looking across here and I only need up to this spot, and I have this extra here. So there's going to be some solving I'm going to need to do. So looking at this, I have to figure out what this missing piece is. If this entire length is 16, what would this side be? Now looking, I know that opposite sides are equal. So when I take a peek right up here, I see that I have an opposite side length right down there. So I know that this side length is going to be 10 inches. If this is 10 and my entire side length is 16, I also know that this is going to be 16 inches. So here again, I've got a 10 by 6, or 60 square inches. Alrighty, so now I want to solve for this one, because again, I've got my length of 8 and my width of 7. So take a minute now and go ahead and calculate that while I do so as well. Alright, so I've got 3 out of my 4. I saved this one for last because I notice I'm missing some side lengths. So why don't you go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can figure out what this area is, and then join me back as I go ahead and solve it. Ready? Okay, great. All right, I already have this side length down here that I solved as part of that 16 inches. But now I need to know what this long side length is. And again, I know my opposite sides are equal. So as I'm looking at this shape, I see that over here, my opposite side is 6 inches. So I know from here to here is going to be 6 inches. Now, let's see if I can figure out what this side is. Up, I've got another opposite side, so I know that this side's going to be 8 inches. And then last but not least, I have another opposite side here for 6 inches. So this side length becomes 6 plus 8 plus 6. 6 plus 8 plus 6. 6 and 8 is 14, plus 6 is going to give me a side length of 20. So now I know that this entire side is 20 inches. Whew, it's a lot of calculations. Last but not least, I need to find the area. I know that this is a 20 by 6. 20 times 6.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Henry. Happy.
Pardon that interruption. All right, so our final step is to do 20, or one of our almost final steps, 20 times 6. I know that 2 times 6 is 12, and I can annex that 0 for a total of 120. All right, our final step is to add up all of our areas, which is going to give me 120 plus 60 plus 60 plus 56. I know that 60 and 60 is 120, so now 120 plus 120 is 240. 240 plus 56 is going to give us a total of 296 square inches. So take a minute. You can always rewatch this video and go through to solve these problems again, and then you can flip it over and try those two on the back and see how it goes. Remember, when we have complex figures, we want to break them down into simple regular rectangles or squares, and then use area equals length times width to solve for our area. Have a great day. Good luck with all this, and I will have another video up soon. Bye.